I thought I was eating really healthy breakfast cereals for many years. Turns out I was wrong. When I started my body recomposition program and dug a little closer to the nutritional values, looks like these breakfast cereals weren't that great after all.
Yeah. Let's go.
Hi, this is Clint. So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the breakfast cereals that are often marketed as being healthy cereals. And I ate some of these cereals for years. But when I started my body recomposition program, I dug closer into the nutritional values of these brands. And I was kind of shocked on what I found. So let's take a look at some of the breakfast cereals I thought were healthy. First of all, Cheerios, the multi-grain version, which is supposed to be, at least it sounds healthier than the Cheerios original brand. So I'm going to use the nutritional label information, and they put it as 1 cup serving. At 1 cup serving, they have 120 calories, 1 gram of fat, 2 grams of protein. Sodium, I usually like to limit my sodium for health purposes. They have 160 milligrams. The sugars at 6 grams, fiber at 2 grams. So doesn't sound that great after all. Now let's look at Shreddies. Shreddies, same 1 cup serving, 200 calories, so a little more on the calorie level. 1 gram of fat, so that's about the same. Protein, 5 grams, so this is better, but the sodium's at 200 milligrams, so a little more salt there. Sugar is at 9 grams, so this is higher. And the fiber is at 6 grams, so it's 3 times higher in terms of the fiber, which is pretty good. I also ate Weetabix. Now it's funny because in the nutritional label that I found for Weetabix at my local grocer, they had the serving as 3 biscuits. But whenever I ate Weetabix, I only ate 2. So sometimes you have to change the numbers, you have to recalculate the numbers on different nutritional labels to make them standardized. So I recalculated the numbers to 2 biscuits, and this will be 132 calorie, which is not too bad. Fat level will be 0.66 grams, which is pretty good. 3.3 grams of protein, which is not that great. Sodium, 138 milligrams, which is good, it's nice and low. And then for the sugar, 1.32 grams, fiber at 4.6 grams, which is pretty good. So it's not too bad. Now let's take a look at Life cereal. Life cereal, again, 1 cup servings, 190 calories. The fat is 2 grams. So hey, this is double the fat content compared to the other cereals so far. Protein is 5 grams. Sodium is 210 milligrams, which is a little bit high. Sugar is 9 grams, which is a little bit high. Fiber, 3 grams. So, looks like Life is not that great after all. Special K, this is like the traditional cereal that has always been marketed as a healthy cereal. I'm going to look at the Special K original version. Calories at 120, which is pretty good, nice and low. Fat is 0.5 grams, which is great, half the fat amount. Protein, 6 grams, which is pretty good because they've always marketed themselves as high protein. Sodium is 200 milligrams, a little bit high. Sugar is 4 grams. Fiber, 0. Big fat 0. So you're getting 0 fiber when eating Special K. They don't tell you that, don't they? I was really surprised about this. So it looks like, especially based on the fiber content, Special K is a flop. One of my past favorite cereals is Raisin Bran. So calories for 1 cup is 180. Fat is 1 gram, which is pretty standard among most of these cereals. Protein is 5 grams. Okay, pretty average. Sodium 170 milligrams. Sugar is, this is high, 14 grams. And that's probably due to the raisins, because raisins are pretty sweet. Fiber at 7 grams, so not too bad. Probably my all-time favorite breakfast cereal for many, many years is Vector. This is the original formulation for Vector. Let's look at Vector. Now it's funny because their nutritional label has a serving at 1.25 or 1 1/4 cups, which is stupid. So I had to change this back to 1 cup, so I recalculated the numbers. And at 1 cup serving, they have it at 170 calories, which is good. Fat is 1.92, which is pretty good. Protein, 4.48, which is pretty average. Sodium, 167 milligrams, which is pretty good. Sugar, 8 grams, a little bit on the high level. Fiber, 2.8 grams. So not particularly high. That kind of surprised me. So Vector, not bad, but it's not great either. Sometimes I also bought All Bran just because of the fiber. It's pretty hard to eat a whole bowl of All Bran, so sometimes I just basically use it as a sprinkling and add that on to other foods. But anyways, we'll take a look at the All Bran numbers. If it was 1 cup, 120 grams, so it's pretty low calories, which is good. Fat, 1 gram, which is good. Protein, 4 grams. Sodium, 140 milligrams, which is pretty low. Sugar at 5 grams. Fiber at 5 grams. I thought All Bran would have higher in terms of the fiber, but it is what it is. But anyway, so it's not bad. So when I started my body recomposition program, I wanted to see if I can improve upon these breakfast cereals. See if there's something that's even healthier. And turned out that there is. Here's an example. This is Kashi Go Active, the original formulation. This is a much better option in my opinion, but let's take a look at the nutritional labels. Here's the facts. Serving at 1 cup. Calories 180 grams. So that's pretty average compared to the past other cereals we covered so far. Fat at 1.5, so maybe just a little bit more, but not that much more. Let's take a look at the protein, because protein is something I really focus on. 10 grams. 10 grams per cup. That's double the protein amount compared to the other cereals. 10 grams. Now we'll look at the sodium. 110 milligrams. That's the lowest level of sodium compared to other breakfast cereals. So even with those numbers so far, double the protein with low sodium. That's pretty good. Let's keep going. Sugar, 7 grams. So that's kind of average, comparable to the others. But here's the last number, which I'm looking at, and also very important, fiber, 10 grams. That's, 10 grams looks like it's double the amount compared to All Bran, and it's triple compared to many of the other cereals. So Kashi alone, double the protein, double the fiber, with low calories and the lowest sodium. That's why this one here beats all the other breakfast cereals. So This is just something that you may have to do when you start your body recomposition program. Double the amount of time that you spend in the grocery store, because believe me, if you do things right, you're going to be reading a lot of nutritional labels. Sometimes the healthiest cereals are not the ones that are often marketed as healthy cereals. I never even heard of cashew until I started looking around the cereal aisle, but this is what I found. And there are others that are probably just as healthy, but just shows you that there are options out there. Okay, thanks. Hope you liked this video. Please hit the like and subscribe, and we're going to see you in an upcoming video on how I make and how I choose ingredients for a very healthy power breakfast. See you then.